Well, hello everyone. Earlier today, I saw Wonka, the prequel to both the original novel by Roald Dahl and the previous adaptation, starring Timothy Chalamet. Title. So let's begin. The film sees Willy Wonka in his journey from world exploring waif to wizard chocolatier here, and the many faces he runs into across his journey, including rival candy makers, there's Gruber, Slugworth, and Prodnose, those who happen to be doing some shady dealings in ways of one to maintain their iron grip on the chocolate game. Um, um, a few eccentric folk who once worked for them, and a fellow urchin named Nora, aka Noodles, man. Let me tell you, the supporting cast put together is fantastic. You see a lot more of Rowan Atkinson as the cleric than you did in the trailers. I can never count on that. And let me just say, whether you're a fan of his humor from Bean or like I am through Blackadder, he's definitely a welcome inclusion. And as he has a bit of sweet tooth as a vice, as well as a very big run-in with a giraffe. It's definitely the ideal balance of whimsy, the previous adaptations and the books had, but also, like a lot of Doll's work, not just of dreams, but occasionally of nightmares. Let's just say that the chocolate horde is important. I'm not going to get into too spoilery. There are some things you'll definitely recognize as you're familiar with the stories, like I am, but also, new elements. I especially like Chalamet's rendition of the character, striking a balance between like the whimsy of Wilder's performance and the more eccentric qualities of Johnny's one, like how the last movie was this was his father, this one his mother, man. I mean, and I don't really get the people who just compare them one to one. It'd be like his comparing his rendition of Atreides to Kyle MacLachlan's. Yes, I'm also looking forward to the next chapter, Dune, as well. Visually, the film was quite impressive. Even though it took a moment to get used to the idea of CG Hugh Grant as Oompa Loompa Lofty, he wasn't a huge fan of the production process, but his performance, if that's the case, actually was helped by that experience where the whole idea he wants the cocoa as much as possible, and even reimagines the aspect from the books of the entire, not just him, but the entire race coming in from Loompa Land. I will just deal with the other adaptations coming online as they come. They did find a loophole in the will of not adapting material from the Great Gauss Elevator in the film. I don't think he foresaw a future where you could just have stuff online, push a button, but still. And even though as someone who didn't feel as strongly about the proposed changes as to the books as others, I understand why the debate happened. I'm also interested in seeing like Wes Anderson's one about Henry Sugar. But the crew also worked on ones like The Wizarding World and Paddington, so I have experience about remixing beloved children's stories on film, and the result they came up with is incredible. Like the production design, how like people dress like it's the industrial age, like late 19th, early 20th century. They at least have electricity. they have landline phones, and the cars are really from like the 20s or 30s. I kind of like that. It gives the whole like something like a time skip feel of sorts. I mean, the fact that he takes a steamship when he first sets foot in the city. I mean, and especially like the costumes as I just mentioned, like Lindsay Hemming's work here is wonderful, man. Even if the film is to cut off to be considered for awards, I definitely like the whole idea of not just Wonka's ensemble being the right mixture of like wandering drifter and eccentric inventor to even like King Michael Key in this old timey Bobby officer getup. And while it's not my favorite Vivid doll adaptation I've ever seen, and I definitely say it's potential high ranking on the list. As I mean, I'm still interested in doing look at all the adaptation of his books. I mean, in the near future. I mean, it's just one of those things where sometimes things get away from you, but that's one of the underlying ideas where it contains DNA of both the previous adaptations and the books, where perseverance, and even when it feels like the whole world is against you, is rewarded, whereas conniving and underhanded tactics don't pay in the long term. Um, Definitely a message I think a lot of us could use, not knowing what lies ahead. I mean, so I definitely give this as a delicious 4.5 stars out of 5, 3.5 stars out of 4. That it is definitely a film considered to be a musical origin that's Scrumdiddlyumptious, and now on to coming attractions. Let's of course start off with next week. I'm gonna go in the least orders and keep things as objective as I can, as I tend to do. Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Yes, after many delays, reshoots, and quite a bit of behind the scenes drama, the defect of final installment of the DCEU for the reboot, which is nearly upon us. 5 years since the first one. And Jason does not know if he'll be donning the green and orange tights again, but he has a great interest in playing Lobo if James wants him to. And there's a lot of things they are doing that I am glad, like how that we're changing up Orm's role in the story from the last movie, and also having Black Manta as the villain, because I found him be a more interesting character than Orm was. And even finding a way to make the more absurd elements from the comics work from the Silver and Golden Ages, including like the seahorse mount. I mean, it's a bit more effective when written by someone who was an MMA before transitioning to film, and definitely, at least, and given how it instantly follows around Festivus when I plan on seeing it, I am not above of airing grievances and good fun I've had with the franchise and the genre. I have not been as hard on it as others, but I can definitely attribute at least some of the underperformances, if not outright bombs this year, to fatigue. Like, you need to sit down after a while. Also coming next week is Illumination's Migration. I'm gonna be honest, I mean, even as someone who has not been and has heard on this studio as others, I don't know what to think. I mean, I guess yes, its story is a bit more or to it than their other ones tend to be. And I admit it's probably not going to the same numbers as Super Mario did, being a new high school film based on a very beloved franchise. But the voice talent seems to be well catered to, and the idea of a misadventure flying south is at least a sound concept. I mean, and as for the Dr. Ron scene, well, I guess this is like for anyone who was not into the fact how they cut the Le Poisson sequence from the Little Mermaid remake. So it doesn't look like a bad movie, but it's not looking like something I would rush right out and see either. I mean, I can probably wait for that to come on digital or Peacock or wherever it's going to be later. Okay, so Valentine's Day, Madam Web, the newest Sony Spider-Man spin-off, which stars Dakota Johnson in the title role. It's another one case where I'm not familiar with the comic version of the character. I mainly know her from the '90s animated series. She's, I mean, she may not be as well known on a reality warping figure as, say, the Beyonder or is but it looks to be a very strange movie. I mean, movie to say the least. I mean, it could be entertaining like the Venom films were. It could be a fun disaster like Morbius was. I don't really know, but this is what moved into Craven the Hunter's vacant slot after its first delay. Emphasized first delay because a lot of movies are coming out next year are ones that were going to be this year and are getting waylaid by the strikes, which also includes the next topic. And so, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which will be coming out March next year. It was going to be this Christmas, which again was before the strikes prevented that. I mean, and since now you not only have like the surviving members of like the original movies coming back, but also the new cast members of the previous movie, and even new faces play Patton Oswalt and Kumail Nanjiani. And as someone who enjoyed the previous movie in 2021, I think it also looks like it'll keep up that same blend of humor and nightmare fuel the franchise built its brand on. And even though the last movie didn't quite acknowledge the events of the cartoons or the video game, they used elements from them, like the reference to Shandor, especially if you're one of the people that counts the game as like an unofficial third film for its cinematics. I kind of do, given how it used all ideas from like the proposed third installment, especially like the Hellbent draft in particular. Or, and they did a really good job with the remaster, I would say. So yeah, looking forward to this. And between that, second chapter of Dune, and a special release of Luca for the spring equinox, I definitely say I can officially start building my entertainment calendar for next year. Yeah. Anyway, I'm still gung-ho to get my remaining Pokemon 2 Master reviews done. I have the script written for the finale, and while you're waiting on that, tomorrow I will give you my first impressions on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Indigo Disc. That's all for now, so take care everyone.